This video is the 72-hour emergency kit and what most people get wrong. Now, after doing some research about what I would need for an emergency kit, because here in southeast Queensland where I live, it's bushfire and stormy season, and I realised that I was nowhere near ready to cope in an emergency situation that lasted for 72 hours. So let me ask you something, and be honest. If the power went out right now and didn't come back on for 3 days, would you actually be okay? Most people think they would be, and most people discover the gaps when it's already too late. Now, in a moment, I'll share with you the one item most people forget, and that's the one that causes the most problems in the first 24 hours. Now, a 72-hour emergency kit isn't about survival movies or bunkers. It's about staying calm, hydrated, fed, medicated, and informed when everything else stops. And especially after 60, there are a few things we simply can't afford to figure out later. So I've broken it down into 6 sections. Section 1, water, because this is where most emergency kits quietly fail. Now, the rule is simple: 3 litres per person per day. So that's 9 litres for 3 days. But here's what people don't realise. Heat, stress and smoke mean you'll drink more, not less. Which is why small bottles and electrolytes matter. I'll tell you why that becomes so critical in a moment. People often think that water is just about volume. Big containers stacked in the garage. Large containers are heavy, awkward, and are often stored where you don't want to be bending, lifting, or spilling. The problem is, in emergencies, access matters more than the amount. Smaller bottles mean you actually drink enough. You're less likely to ration unnecessarily. They're easier to carry if you have to move, and they're safer for tired hands and stiff joints. In other words, water you can't comfortably use isn't really water at all. And there's another item you should add to your list, and that's a gravity-fed water filter, because that will make your water a lot safer to drink. Why electrolytes matter. Now, this is a surprise, and here's a clear non-medical explanation, because here's the part most people don't realise. In heat, stress or smoky conditions, you don't just lose water, you lose salts and minerals. And when that happens, drinking plain water alone, well, that can leave you weak, dizzy, headachy, and confused. Electrolytes help your body absorb and use the water properly. A few sachets or a couple of tablets can prevent cramps, fatigue, and that washed out feeling that makes everything harder than it needs to be. And after 60, dehydration hits faster, lasts longer, and shows up as confusion, not thirst. That's why this small detail matters more than most people think. Section 2, food. Not emergency rations, just food that works when the power doesn't. If it needs a stove, microwave, or motivation, it's the wrong food. Think pull-tab tins, protein bars, crackers, tuna pouches, food that's easily accessible. Now, here's a quick test. Now, if your kit needs a can opener that you don't have a kit, because canned food is probably one of the most vital sources of food you can have in your kit. So you're going to need a good quality can opener. Obviously not an electric one, but a good solid one. Probably a couple of them. Spend a few bucks. It can make a big difference in an emergency situation. Section 3, the item most people forget. Now, here's the one I promised earlier. The thing almost nobody includes. It's medications. And not just having them, but having them ready to go. Most people just assume, I'll grab my pills if something happens, and that's the mistake. What almost everyone forgets is a dedicated, packed medication kit, which should include a minimum 7-day supply of prescription meds, a printed medication list, names, doses, doctor and pharmacy, copies of scripts, spares like pain relief, antacids, antihistamines, extras people rely on daily, glasses, hearing aid batteries, inhalers. And here's why this matters. In the first 24 hours of an emergency, pharmacies close, roads block, power fails, and stress makes even healthy people feel unwell. Missing just one medication can turn inconvenience into crisis faster than anything else in your kit. I mean, you can survive on crackers for a few days, but you can't tough it out without your heart meds. Section 4, power and communication. When the lights go out, confusion sets in fast. You're going to need a good torch, but a headlamp is way better. And you need one for everybody, even the older children. And a charged power bank, oh, that's gold. Spare batteries, make sure you've got spares for all the items that require them. And a battery or hand cranked radio, because that's how you know what's actually happening instead of guessing. And guessing during emergencies is when mistakes happen. Section 5, documents and cash. Here's another quiet trap. When FPOS goes down, cards, well, they just become decorations. Small bills, spare keys, photo ID, medical info, put it all in one waterproof pouch. Because if you ever have to leave quickly, this saves weeks of stress later. Section 6, comfort equals capability. Now this might sound minor, but it isn't. A warm layer of clothes, proper shoes, wet wipes, toilet paper flattened in a bag, and also heavy duty garbage bags. Not those flimsy kitchen ones, the heavy duty ones. And a bucket with zip ties. You'll need those for sanitation. And comfort keeps you calm, and calm keeps you thinking clearly. Also, throw in a deck of cards, a notebook, a sketchbook, even some board games, because it can get very boring, and especially if you've got younger children, they need to be kept occupied. Comfort keeps you calm. Calm keeps you thinking clearly, and clear thinking keeps you safe. So here's your quick mental check. Water, food you can eat cold, medications, light and power, cash and documents. If you're missing even one, you're not alone, because most people are. And of course, if you have pets, make sure they have enough food and water as well. And of course, any medications that they may be on. Now, if there's one thing that I hope you take away from this, it's this. Preparation isn't about fear. It's about giving yourself options. You don't have to do everything today. Just start. And if this video helped, save it. The right information is more valuable before you need it, because peace of mind is a lot cheaper before the emergency. Now I'm going to leave a link to a 72-hour emergency kit checklist in the description below. I'm Robbie from Living Life in the Lockyer, Life After 60. Start small, stay calm, be ready, and be kind to one another. And I'll see you in the next one.